And here we go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Pulse of Ithaca podcast, your local podcast for entertainment in the greater Ithaca, New York area. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sean, your host, and joining me is my ever-knowledgeable co-host, Pete. This week we'll be discussing some upcoming concerts in Ithaca and exploring a recent camping trip I took in the Adirondacks. Also, in 10 minutes from now, we're going to be interviewing the proprietors of Yxis Arepas. Let's get started.
Yeah, Sean. Good to be here with you.
Likewise.
Another week of news, entertainment, and the great outdoors.
Yes.
We actually have a lot to talk about this week.
We do.
Compared to a couple weeks ago, it's kind of like the time of year when things slow down a little bit. But
sure.
So I was super excited to see that there's so much going on in Ithaca over the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
I wanted to kick things off this week with not a show announcement, but we actually have some exciting news. John Brown's Body, the local roots reggae band from Ithaca, New York, just announced today that after being on hiatus for the last few years, they're actually going to be getting back together, and they're reuniting with their founder and architect, Kevin Kinsella,
Nice.
who left the band. I'm going to say, gosh, I can't believe it, but it's been 20 years since he left the band. Actually, the band was formed back in the 90s.
Okay.
They were together for about 10 years with Kevin. Then he left to pursue a solo career.
Yep.
And the band was fronted by by Elliot Martin, who carried the band for another 10 years or so or more, and they toured. And they've been on hiatus for the last few years. And now they're actually announced today that they're getting back together. Elliot won't be joining them for this round, but Kevin is back with the band. And just looking through the press release that they have here, they said they're going to be returning to the stage in 2024. They're looking forward to select dates throughout the year. They're going to be performing songs from the first 5 classic era JBB records.
Mm-hmm.
So they've reached out to Elliot. He's given his full endorsement and support to all involved, and is excited for this development of the band getting back together. The lineup moving forward includes musicians from all different periods of their 25-plus year history. On drums, the only drummer they've ever had and co-founding member will be Tommy Benedetti. Back on bass duties, completing a wicked drum and bass combo, is Nate Edgar, who was with JBB from 2006 to 2015. From their most recent lineup, John J.P. Pedronzio on keys.
Nice.
And sorry about that, JP, butchered your name there. And we got TJ Shaper on trombone.
Shaper.
Saxman and original member Lee Hamilton will be on tenor. And then rounding out the lineup is longtime member of their extended family, Von Gordon Martin. You may know him from his work with G-Love and Dubahopalix. He will be on guitar. So they actually played a couple of shows with this lineup in New York a few months back. I caught one of the shows at Deep Dive. It was amazing. Mm-hmm. I believe you might have been there. I'm not sure if you were at that one, but they were at Deep Dive this past fall or winter, and it was a great show. So Really looking forward to seeing them hopefully on some festival stages this summer. Not really sure, but who knows, Yeah. Maybe some local festivals coming up here this year, we'd get a chance to see them. So super excited about that. Going back to the early 2000s when my wife first took me to Grassroots, I remember seeing John Brown's Body for the first time. And the entire festival was at the grandstand stage. Nice. And I was like, oh my gosh, who is this band? And
right.
why can I not get anywhere close to the stage? And you could just hear the cheering.
Yeah.
And so super excited to see this band back together again with Kevin fronting it. So looking forward to that.
Nice.
So yeah, next up we've got a couple of different shows coming up. We got some shows at Deep Dive. We got some shows out in Homer, New York at the Center for the Arts and also the State Theater. So let's dive right in here with Deep Dive. They've got a Blake Dynamite Thursday, January 18th at 8 p.m. It's fronted by Mike Mitchell, also known as Blake Dynamite. He's a drumming sensation who began at age 2, recorded live at age 7, and earned drum company endorsements by age 11.
What?
Yeah. He was raised in a church setting. He's developed a deep passion for music and drums, leading to his study of music theory at age 12. He attended the prestigious Booker T. Washington High School for the Performing and Visual Arts. Some of the talents that have graduated from there are Nora Jones and Erykah Badu. So he's also won 14 Downbeat Music Awards and played with Grammy winners such as Christian McBride and Herbie Hancock.
He's the most of drumming.
Yeah. So, I mean, this guy is critically acclaimed. It's great that Deep Dive has booked him. He released his debut album Wi-Fi with his band Rush in 2015, followed by his third album Time Out in 2020 through Dolphin Records.
Nice.
And his collaborations span a range of artists, contributing significantly to his emergence as a band leader. So
very cool.
That's going to be a great show. Also coming up at Deep Dive, there is Eric Carlin's Half Dead. He's going to be revisiting the Buffalo 5/9 1977 show. And basically, Eric Carlin's Half Dead is a set that will dazzle deadheads and music enthusiasts alike with a concert series titled Buffalo 5/9 77 Revisited. This electrifying series pays homage to the legendary Grateful Dead show held the night after the famed Barton Hall performance here at Cornell University.
Very dope.
Looking forward to that. All the Deadheads are going to be out for that. Definitely check that out. And again, that's Saturday, January 27th at 7:30 p.m. Also coming up at Deep Dive, Southern Old Time String Band Jam Session. That's happening Tuesday, January 30th at 8 p.m. And it's traditional Southern old-time fiddle music jam with a great groove. So you're welcome. I believe from what I've understood about this event is it's kind of like you can join in and play with the band. So
stop.
If you'd like to get down and jam out to some old string time music, bring your instruments. And it's hosted by Northside String Band. I dig this kind of music. It's not something I've checked out before, so I think it'd be a really good time.
Yeah.
So check that out. Those tickets are available at www.deepdiveithaca.com. Two more show announcements, or a couple more show announcements. One is just outside of Buffalo, or just outside of Ithaca, in Homer, New York. G-Love and the Special Sauce 30th anniversary tour.
Jesus.
This is, I can't believe, I feel like I'm really dating myself here, but I saw him play probably 20 years ago. I've seen him a bunch of times playing up in Buffalo.
Nice.
Seen him at the Town Ballroom. Seen him at some of those Thursday in the Square concerts that they had for free. And on this tour, he's celebrating his 30th anniversary. He's going to be performing Sunday, January 21st at 8 p.m. at the Center for the Arts in Homer. He's known for his unique blend of blues, hip-hop, and folk. And G-Love and his band have been genre-bending pioneers since their breakout in 1994.
Nice.
Their latest album, The Juice, co-produced by Keb Mo, is a testament to their evolving sound, infusing traditional blues with modern pop and hip-hop influences. So he's featuring collaborations with artists like Robert Randolph and Marcus King. The album balances personal and political themes, emphasizing positivity and unity. So G-Love's dynamic stage presence and innovative music continue to captivate audiences, making this anniversary tour a celebration of his remarkable 3-decade journey in music. So,
dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, really cool. The Center for Performing Arts does a great job with their shows up there. It's just a short drive down the road.
Right.
So I'm hoping my friend Mark comes and picks me up and drives me out to that. So this show is sold out. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, just show up. And see if you can work some magic.
See what can happen. Nice.
That's what I plan to do, because I did not get my tickets yet.
That's awesome.
All right. So next up, there's a couple shows coming up at the State Theater. We've got Big Head Todd and the Monsters. That's Thursday, January 25th at 8 p.m. at the State Theater of Ithaca. Also, Band of Horses is playing February 3rd at 8 p.m. Reserve seating $35 to $55. So definitely check that out. Those tickets are available at statetheaterofithaca.org.
Nice.
So, all right. So up next, and finally, we have a couple of under-the-radar events here. Actually, we have two. This one is actually Mark Maynard is going to be playing at Bike Bar, and I did not write down the date for that. Do you remember what he said when we were talking with him yesterday?
No.
Yeah, it's better that we not guess.
Yeah.
But check out the Bike Bar socials. I'm sure there'll be an announcement on there. But Mike Maynard's doing a solo show there. You may know him as the frontman of Scuba Jerry.
Yeah.
And they're actually playing a show up in Syracuse on January 29th at Funking Waffles. So if anyone finds herself up in Syracuse or wants to take a road trip, check them out. They're playing Monday, January 29th.
Very cool.
So we're doing something a little bit different this week.
We are.
Yeah,
It's
normally we cruise through the events and we talk about some outdoors, but you came to me last week. You said, I really think we should try to profile some local businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And the first place that came to mind was Yxis Arepas, who many of our listeners may already be familiar with.
Right.
But we're actually going to dial them up. We're going to get Yxi, the founder, on the phone, and she's going to answer some questions for us. So let's go ahead and get this dialed up here. Here we go.
You've got mail.
That's correct.
Hello.
Hello, Russ. This is Pete and Sean from Pulse of Ithaca podcast. How are you?
Hey, P, I'm good. I'm here with my wife, Yxi.
Awesome.
Hi,
Hello.
hi there, Yxi.
How are you doing?
We're doing great. I just wanted to thank you both so much for taking the time to come and get on the phone with us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yxi, I've been a big fan of your food for quite a while now. Definitely filled me up at some festivals, giving me some really good comfort food. So thank you so much. Super excited for your new venture. And me and Sean just had a handful of questions here for you, so we figured we'd just get right into it.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Yes, of course.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay.
So,
Please start us off.
yeah. So, just can you give us a little bit of the background about how Yxis Arepas came about, and how did you go about choosing the particular menu that you ended up with?
Well, arepas is like our comfort food for my culture. And it was very, easy for me to come with a menu like that. And my friend Agustin came to visit me once, and he was like, hey, he called me randomly, and he was like, hey, can you make me some arepitas? I have some hours off. And I was like, sure, come over, I will make some lunch for you.
Nice.
That was a part of my life, and we were going through a lot of things, and, I was having, like, rough time. I was very depressed, and he come and shop with he always smile and brighter room. And we are sitting on the table, and he was like, hey, what do you think about we can do with some money? And I was like, I don't know, what do you want to do? And he was like, well, I have this money here, and I want to give it to you in order, like, to do something about it. I was like, oh, about what? Like, I feel like the arepas is gonna be a good thing. Like you you are happy when you're making arepas and you're feeding people. So let's do it.
What a great comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how this crazy world of the arepas started.
That's
we
amazing.
started to do grassroots. We started doing grassroots that like 3 weeks after this decision. And
Wow,
everything started like. Sorry?
That came together really fast.
It came really, really fast. And I think the most fast decision was because Ross was being part of these festivals and grassroots, that it takes like 3 different grassroots. That is 2 in Chacori, and the 1 in May and 1 in October, and then the grassroots here in July. And I was like, wow, this is a lot of time that you're going to be away. So.
Yeah. And so let me ask you this then. How did you go about going from doing the kind of pop-up tents in the trailer to actually getting into a food truck?
Wow. So that was fast for me, because that experience in grassroots, I remember Agustin Face moving our flat top 3 times.
Yeah.
He said, like, we're not doing this anymore. And if we're doing this, I need you to give me wheels.
Yeah.
So I love Lego, so I started, like, one day I'm sitting in my living room after grassroots, like that week that, you feel defeated and you're so exhausted.
Right.
And I'm seeing my Lego set, and I was like, oh, I think I can come with this idea. So I built a trailer with the Lego set, And I called the guys like 3 days after. I meet with Ross and Agustin and say, okay, this is what we're doing. We went next day, that is a Saturday, and we went to this in drive-in trailer shop, and I just saw it, and I was like, there it is. So this is what we're gonna do. And of course, I was having all the trailer design in my brain, and these two poor guys were just looking at an empty trailer. And that was an amazing trailer. We call it Pepe. Our fish passed away that week in Grassroots. Our fish was with us. It was a goldfish, 5 years with us.
Oh my gosh, rest in peace.
And we were like, okay, I think the trailer shop, so it is an indication, this is Pepe, and let's put a Pepe. And we started using this 360 open trailer with an amazing kitchen and doing more festivals. And then we went to the Westie, and they received us like with an amazing open heart.
Nice.
And we did our debut there. It was challenging because when it got October, it gets very cold, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Even though that you have a 350 degrees fryer next to you, it is not hot enough.
Right.
So for the last year, for 2023, we were like, wow, so what is next? Because it was a lot of storms, a lot of roofs to put in and out, and a lot of way to drive to North Carolina to Raleigh for 16 hours with a storm behind us for 8 hours in a row.
Yeah.
It was very challenging for me, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's time. Our friend Babe's Burger, friend Frank, he got his amazing food truck, his food trailer actually, and he called us and said, hey, check it out. It was very amazing. Go and see his trailer. And getting out of there, he said to us, like, you guys should think about this. Working with him towards North Star, the owner of North Star, say hi to us, like, hey guys, how you guys doing? It's amazing, the trailer. You guys should call the family from Waffle Frolic. And that's how we decided to go to this trailer, because the Waffle Frolic family, amazing, beautiful family, said to us, like, you guys should have this, like,
Yeah.
take it. I want it out of my garden, so you guys do something. And 3 weeks after, here we are, doing this.
That's great.
Very
And you
cool.
guys have been open through the winter up until this week when the extreme weather kicked in, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, it was very below 20, it's below zero. Definitely no good deal.
very
Right.
cool.
So I have actually a two-part question for you. What would you
course.
say is like the most popular items on your menu, and do you have any personal favorites?
Yeah, so the plate will be my favorite because it means a little bit of every person of my family, my grandmother, my
Sure.
mother. It has the flavor of Augustine's. And, seeing that combination at the beginning of the first question, sitting in that table when he asked me for the arepas and mixing with his carnitas, it was like, wow, I guess we can do this.
Yeah.
And it reminds us of, our family. As an immigrant, you left everything behind, and like that feeling of being home for like 5 seconds of bite, it was amazing. So, yes, I guess that the play, because it brings all the flavor of the love from both of our sides.
Okay, very cool.
That's amazing. I have to say my personal favorite is the shredded pork arepa. So, with the plantains.
Yes, I do. Yes.
With the plantain.
With the plantain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this now. I think you've talked a little bit about this already, but what have been some of the biggest challenges that you've faced over the past few weeks in terms of like running a food truck? What kind of challenges has that presented for you, and how have you overcome them?
So for us, we were just, well, this is a beautiful example. The first day that we opened, my friend, my person, my right hand, I say, hey, my love, could you please cut some tomatoes? It's our first day. She's amazing, and she cut an entire case of tomatoes. And then after I realized that she cut an entire case of tomatoes, I said, my love, we're not in a festival.
Right.
So I think that was the very first challenge, minimizing everything from feeding 2,000 to 5,000 people to 3 people.
Yeah, absolutely.
3 people a day. We just have 3 people the first day.
Yeah,
and it was very funny seeing all those tomatoes. Like, well, we can make a sauce.
Right.
Right.
And I guess that's a challenge pretty much every time out, right? You want to make sure that you minimize the waste, but that you have enough food for people. So I see how that could definitely be challenging.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. And the water, minimizing that you don't have any running water. Like, we do have a running water, but we don't have a big tank, a waste tank. So, like, being very conscious of how much water we need to use and, like, how many dishes and, like, absolutely thinking about recycling and the compost and, like, it's been very interesting, but I think every day it's been better and better.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you actually kind of touched down on this question I had for you guys, but like could you walk us through like a typical day in life of running like your business, like all like you touched on like the challenges you could face, but like do you have any more examples of that?
Oh yeah. You can say something, Ralphie. You have
Sure.
experience.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah.
My facility manager.
I came up with my title. I'm the plant facilities manager.
There you go.
So what is that for?
Making sure everything is operational and running.
Right.
And, all the lights are going, and you're maintaining. We're running a restaurant, but it's in a 8.5 by 16-foot trailer.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is a professional kitchen. It's great. Like, we're really happy being in there. But yeah, a typical day, we get there pretty early. Yxis really takes a lot of pride in making everything fresh.
Sure.
So we're usually there like pretty early in the morning, getting opened up and making sure the water is running, it's not frozen, or if it is frozen, pulling out the emergency hose. Turning on the heater a little bit until we get the flat top going. But then, luckily, once it's going, that trailer's pretty well insulated.
It could be 125 degrees.
Yeah, you guys
Out
look
there, so
cozy in there when I've stopped by a couple of times.
Yeah, so oddly enough, in the beginning, before we purchased the trailer and got into all of this, one of the foreseeable issues, Yxis' biggest fear was like, oh my God, how am I going to stay warm in there?
Right.
And now it's totally warm all the time. It's
Yeah.
great. It's not a problem at all. But then, we cook everything in there. So, a typical day is like getting ready, getting up and rocking and rolling, and then honestly, at this point in time, gauging the demand and kind of what our orders are going to be like for the day, and then, always making fresh beans, always making fresh carnitas, always perfecting wherever we can. The first couple of weeks, Yxis realized that she wanted to change the tomatoes in the tomato ensalada and changing those from like Roma tomatoes to nice like sweet cherry tomatoes. And,
Nice.
Every day it's been an adventure.
I like that.
That's amazing. Now, can you guys share a particular memorable experience or an interaction that you've had over the past, year or so, not even, that you all have been doing this? Is there one moment that brought a bit of comic relief or that was particularly memorable for you all?
Well, I'll go first, unless you have one. Okay. I guess what I'm going to say is the reaction from people eating your food is always very powerful to me, and it's always unexpected. I
have to be honest with you guys. I've been living in this town, and I love it for 9 years, but like seeing 5 Venezuelan people getting out of a car, more than 5 or 6 Colombians or Latin Americans every day, different faces, and it's been very amazing. Like the lack of community for the Latino, like I've been feeling in. Like, where guys, you guys have been? Like, wow, how long have been you here? Oh, I've been here for 5 years. Where?
In Monrovia. What?
Right. Well, the word sounds like it's getting out.
It's been a sense of community. I think it's been very, very amazing.
Yeah.
Like that feeling of home and like talking, in our crazy accents and like, hey, I love and hugs and let me give you a big hug. And
Yeah.
it's been very
Culture.
The culture is a spark. It is a spark, so it feels great. It
Awesome.
feels home.
That
Yeah.
is great.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Very cool. So I know you guys in the past have worked at some festivals, but what about 2024? Do you have any festivals you plan on working on this year?
Well, we're definitely driving back to 16 hours to an amazing Chakotay Hills.
Yes. So that'll be the spring and the fall festival, or just the spring?
We're gonna do both festivals.
Very nice.
And we're doing Grassroots. We're doing Port Festival. I have to do a shout out to my amazing Katie because she's rock and roll, and I love her from Silo, and I can't wait to. I think I've been doing these festivals, but my favorite is Port Festival.
Absolutely.
And I love it.
Well, I know that you guys have the spot here in Ithaca that you're kind of your home when you're not touring, right next to the Jewel Box. What is that address down there, or how do you tell people how to get there?
Oh, yes. Mickey Roof, she is amazing. I really am very thankful to her that she opened her doors to us and she opened her space to us. And it's been very wonderful to be there. It's at 301 Taganok Boulevard. She has this amazing, beautiful jewelry store called the Jewelry Box. It's woman's own, and it's been very powerful. It's that corner. And we have our friend Heidi right next to us that with Feel Good is a store that has a little bit of everything, there's a store that surprise you. And I'm very grateful to them because I use Heidi's restroom because we are in a food truck. So
Right.
plan A and plan B.
That's right.
So it's been very beautiful how to see us.
Yeah, that is such a great spot down there. I take my dog to the dog park every day, so I drive by once or twice a day. And it's really great that you guys have been there, have that space opened, and I'll definitely be frequenting it as much as I can. And thank you guys.
Yeah, I've not been there, so I'm excited to really come and check it out.
Yeah, so me and Sean will definitely be down there next week.
I can't wait to feed you guys. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you both very much. Good luck with everything. I know you guys are closed this week, but hoping to open up next week when we get a bit of a thaw. We're having our January thaw next week from the forecast that I'm seeing. So we're looking forward to seeing you all next week and at the various festivals this summer. So thank you both so much.
Oh,
yeah, thanks, guys.
I love to you guys, and thank you for this.
Great talking with you guys.
We'll be there. We'll be there all through the spring and summer. So we look forward to seeing all y'all soon.
Awesome.
We'll see you soon.
I can't wait to feed you guys. Have an amazing rest of your time.
Thank you. Take care.
Guys.
Bye-bye, love.
That was awesome. I love those two of my favorite people.
Yeah.
So we actually are doing something a little bit different today. We're trying to do an Instagram live, and we have our friend Matt Gerbarg here helping out, and we just realized halfway through this that none of the listeners could hear any of that phone call. So I think we had maybe one viewer.
It might have been, man.
Okay, awesome. Well, those are rookie numbers.
We'll take it. We'll take those metrics.
Actually, yeah, my friend from Buffalo. Yeah, my friend from Buffalo, Al, joined in briefly. He might still be here. Oh, he was here at some point. He was probably wondering why we were just sitting across from each other because he couldn't hear the interview. So, good stuff. And now, it's time for a segment we like to call The Great Outdoors. Great transition there.
Yeah, we're working on it.
All right, so I'm excited for this, as I am each week, but instead of profiling a local hiking spot, you're going to tell us about a winter camping trip that you took
Yes.
this past weekend. And, I've been hanging out with you for a while, so when you tell me you're going camping, I'm just like, oh, cool, sounds fun.
Yeah.
But I was telling a couple of my friends that you were going camping this weekend.
Right.
And last weekend it was like single-digit temps,
Yes.
high wind, snow.
Yes.
And my friends were like, oh my gosh, this guy's crazy.
Yes.
And I thought about it for a second, and I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. So, tell us a little bit. Where did you go camping this past weekend?
So I went camping in this place called Stewart Landing, which is in the Adirondacks. The closest town to it is called Stratford. So it's about 2.5 hours from here, from Ithaca.
Okay, not too bad.
If the weather is good, the weather was not good when I was leaving. It took me about almost 4 hours to get home.
Okay.
But like to give you kind of like location of where I was, it's like an hour north of Utica, an hour and a half from like Syracuse. So it was like more of like the lower part of the Adirondacks.
Okay.
But yeah, when we got there, it was still raining.
Jeez.
It was like mid-30s, which is the horrible conditions because it's cold rain.
Yeah.
Which is worse than like snowy conditions.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys kept driving. Like, I would have just turned around. Were you optimistic that the weather was going to switch?
So I was less optimistic than my friend Nick was. When we left his house in the morning, it was pouring rain. This is like Queensbury. I go, dude, what's our exit strategy?
Yeah.
What if we get there and still crappy out?
Yeah.
He's like, we'll figure it out when we get there. I'm like, okay, we'll just drive there. Higher elevation.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say. You were going further north,
Right.
higher elevation, chances of it switching over to snow were good.
Last time we saw that, it was like supposed to be like noon when like the temperature was supposed to like drop pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But when we got there, it was still pouring out. So I go, hey Nick, I'm sitting in my car for 15 minutes while this rain like passes over or does something different.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, in 15 minutes, all that rain turned into snow.
Yes.
It was like a beautiful like snowfall. So I got out of my car and I was like, all right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to do this.
We're going to do this.
Had you been to this spot before, or was this the first time?
No, his big thing is that every time we do something, he wants to do like a new location.
Okay.
Because he'll find like locations for us that are really, really cool. And I'm like, I want to go back there. Let's definitely go back there.
Yeah.
But he's really about like just like the new experience.
And how does he find them? Is he using Google Earth? Is he using an app?
No, he gave me the website. It's like
It's not The Dirt, is it?
No, I do know that though.
Okay.
But the website he uses it's more like people that like hike and camping spots contribute to it.
Okay.
So it's like updated and you get like good updated like pictures and locations.
Okay.
It's not like on the DC like website and being like this is like from like 1962.
Right.
Like.
Now, did you guys camp next to your vehicle, or did you hike out? Like, what was that like?
So where we camped was by this dam where we parked our cars, but the hike into where we camped was probably maybe like 400 meters, so it wasn't that far.
Okay.
There was a built-in fire pit.
Nice.
There.
Any other infrastructure there?
There was a privy, an outhouse there.
Okay, cool.
A nice one.
That's important.
We did not need it, but it was there.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it was a good sized fire pit, and we had all our equipment and like supplies from our car, so it really wasn't that hard to like. So
you just trekked in. How many trips did you have to take back and forth to get everything up there?
Probably 3 or 4.
Okay, so not terrible.
No, not terrible. A lot of it was food. We brought a lot of food.
Okay.
Because we knew that like being out in the cold, like we'd be burning a lot of calories.
Yeah. And did you guys bring your own firewood, or? We
did to a certain extent, thanks to you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you guys brought in some of that birch wood from those trees from my front yard. Yes.
Which I call white gold.
Okay.
I love birch wood, but you don't see birch wood trees in a lot of spots.
Yeah.
The reason why I love birch wood because like the bark, it's like paper.
Yeah.
And it catches fire really quickly. And you had a bunch at your house, which you offered
I did.
like months ago.
Matt here actually helped me chop those trees down along with our friend Dan. So
awesome.
He knows exactly the wood you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, I confiscated a few trunks of that, and it definitely helped out.
Yeah, right on. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And did you end up splitting that wood, or did you throw those logs on?
So those logs that you gave me, we just threw on.
Okay.
There was a couple trees that we cut down that we did split.
Okay.
But the nice thing about like when you don't split up a log is that it burns slower.
Yeah. And so you
that's
just
kind of like what we were going for too.
put a bunch of feeders on there to keep it going,
Right.
and that's awesome. Now, tell me a little bit about your setup there. What did you guys do for food? What ingredients did you bring? How did you cook?
So this trip was a little different. We had this theme of Russia.
Okay.
Because my friend Nick is like Russian Jewish his background. So we looked it up, like what do like Russians eat? And I couldn't pronounce any of this stuff.
Yeah.
But we had like a stew that had pierogies, sausage. It was tomato based.
Okay.
And cabbage. And that doesn't sound like too appetizing, but it was so delicious.
No, it sounds delicious. Yeah.
We had not everyone's a big fan, but we had liver sandwiches.
Okay.
I brought caviar and champagne.
Oh, nice.
I bought a bottle of vodka that
Happy
we
New
polished.
Year.
Yeah. And then there's another dish that we had, which is like Polish. It's more of like a dessert dish. I can't pronounce it.
Okay.
Truki.
Okay.
But it's like almost like fried dough.
Oh, nice.
That was our breakfast. It was amazing.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, it was like fried dough and then like powdered sugar on it.
Okay.
It was like so good.
And did you have any trouble getting the fire hot enough to boil that up and cook everything? Or
No, luckily I was actually kind of worried because it had rained so much prior.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, thank goodness we brought our own wood, the birch wood. But the fire stayed the whole evening, stayed the whole night, and when we woke up the next morning, the fire was still going, which was crazy because it had rained so much the day before, and it was so windy. It was like 40 mile per hour winds there.
Jeez, dude, you're an animal.
Thank you. But no, it was like one of the most fun trips I've had. And my friend Nick and I, we've definitely like hiked and camped in like really cold weather conditions, but technically that was our first winter camping.
Okay, very cool.
So I would totally do it again.
And do you guys have any trips planned currently? Did you guys like pencil anything in? Do you have a certain
No, it was
target?
funny. We were like texting each other like this week. We're just like, I have like this like withdrawal.
Right.
I'm like back to work and like, I'm like, what's our next trip? What can we do to top that off? Because that was like one of the most fun we've had.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Dude, that sounds like a great time. I would love to get out and do some winter camping at some point. I think my winter camping would probably not be in quite the conditions you guys did. Maybe I'd be looking for like a nice dry 45 degree low or something along those lines. But
no, it's definitely you have to have the right gear and then some.
Yeah.
Because not to turn people off, but like you're basically like one decision or one whatever like it being like a horrible experience or a horrible night.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So whenever Nick and I like plan these camping trips, we're like, what's our exit strategy?
Yeah.
You know.
And what was your exit strategy? Sleep in your car, hike down the hill, and sleep in the car. Yeah, sleep in the car.
Yeah.
There you go. Whatever it takes.
Right.
Well, good stuff. Man, this was a lot of fun. I'm really glad that you went on that trip and you were able to tell us about it. Super excited about the shows that are coming up over the next couple of weeks. Very grateful to Yxis and Russ for coming on the show today and telling us about Yxis Arepas. Definitely check them out on Instagram. They're at Yxis Arepas. If you haven't followed us already, be sure to do so. We're on Instagram as well, the Pulse of Ithaca. And we'd like to thank everyone for listening. We know that you have a lot of different ways to spend your time, so it means a lot that you've taken the time to listen to our shows. We are available on all major platforms. So we're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Podcast Addict, pretty much anyone that you can think of. If there's a platform that you're on that we're not, please let us know, and we'll make sure that we're there. If you've got an event or a story or a favorite business you want us to cover, please reach out to us on social media. We'd love to hear from you. So until next time, keep your finger on the pulse of Ithaca and make the most of this amazing place we call home. Take care, everyone.